Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Sebastian Sloane NYC. I am Emily, the crafter behind Sebastian Sloane NYC. My name is not Sebastian, and let's get into podcast number 3 because it has been quite a number of minutes. First things first, I am wearing the Poppy Top by Le Pole. I followed it pretty much exactly to pattern, I think. So that's pretty fun. I made it a little shorter, I believe, but maybe not. I don't even know. I think I followed it to pattern. Anyway, I used a Cascade yarn that I purchased at Knitty City, and the buttons are just regular buttons, and I glued these shells to them that I bought at Michael's a really long time ago. Cool. I am going to begin this podcast by going in chronological order of everything. I have 18 points to hit of varying degrees of projectness, so let's get into it. I will be inserting pictures where needed, so yeah, I'm not like getting everything out for this project because that would be super annoying for me, and then I have to like hold it the whole time. Anyway, picture space. The first thing that I worked on is I restarted my Napoleon lace scarf that had some mistakes in it, so I restarted it and I got way further, and then I made some new mistakes. I am working on a 100% acrylic yarn. It is Hobie Carnival, and I highly recommend this yarn. It's very soft and it has nice drape and it's ombre, and I think it will lend itself really well to this lace scarf. Anyway, I'm thinking when I finish this scarf it will be a gift, but obviously it is not really scarf weather right now, especially not an acrylic scarf. And I'm thinking an acrylic lace scarf would be best suited for fall, so I'd like to get this to my friend by the fall. Anyway, this is a picture of the current state of the scarf. Unfortunately, I have increased from 33 stitches to 36 stitches. Where did that come from? So I'm gonna have to figure that one out, but we'll see. Number 2, I bought a pink and a green Rit dye, and I will be dyeing something at some point. I will probably purchase undyed yarn from HM Nabavian. I will probably make a piece and then dye it, not make the yarn dyed and then knit it up. Cool. Number 3, I started a Lizzie McGuire movie themed top that will become a set, but I didn't like the way it was fitting, so I took a break because it's really hard to frog. I've started with crochet, and my goal is to use the magical magic of crochet and some math to make this whole thing work without effing it up too bad. I am using ice yarns, cotton pilots. No one's corrected me yet. Cotton palettes in a blue color that it's like periwinkle, and it has multiple colors of mixed size sequins. I highly recommend this yarn. I really like that it is mixed size sequins because we will get to later a yarn that uses only one size of sequins that I'm really not enjoying. Next up, number 4, I worked on a bag that I will be trying to felt. It is wool from Knitty City, and we'll see how it goes, but I'm gonna make a large bag and then felt it. Next up, we have the regatta sweater, which I worked on a little bit. You guys know her. She's made out of a Noro yarn from Knitting Fever. Thank you, Knitting Fever. And a vintage Bernat yarn called Misty, which is a mohair acrylic blend, and it feels awful. And considering that it is warm outside and I'm not going to be wearing an acrylic mohair blend, I decided to put this piece down and return to it when the weather is cold enough to hold it in my lap. But I really, really like this sweater pattern, and I might consider making another one, but I would adjust the sizes and also maybe make it into a t-shirt. Cool. Anyway, I really like this pattern. It has no projects on Ravelry, but it's already coming out so great. Then we have a skinny scarf that I made using lots of various leftovers. I still have some of the leftovers left, but I don't know what I'll do with them because they're not very big. Oh my god, my camera is shaking. Anyway, I freehanded the scarf, I used stripes and this and that, and I left the ends out, and it's very fun and edgy and giving like Disney Channel fall vibes. Anyway, liked this scarf very much. Then I made a balaclava for my friend. Unfortunately, I don't have a picture of it. I'll ask her for a picture, and by the time this video goes up, if she sends it, I'll include a picture. But if I don't have a picture, I used crochet ombre pink yarn in a bubblegum pink that ombres into white, and it goes back and forth multiple times in the yarn. It's 100% cotton. I don't have the labels, but I used that yarn to make a typical style balaclava, where I started with yarn over slip stitch ribbing and I made a rectangle, and then I started going around down this way in a different stitch. Anyway, I made that balaclava, and then I used a solid pink to do the ribbing and knitted for the neck hole and the neck hole and the head hole. So that piece is done. I gifted it to my friend. It fits her. She's sensitive to wool, so I went with 100% cotton because it would be soft, easy to wash. And yeah, that is that balaclava. I really liked working on that. It was fun. Then I started the lip hole tie pattern that she just released with the recommended yarn. It's a laying sock yarn that I happen to have 2 complete balls of, so I'm making it in a yellow neon tennis ball vibe. It's like more yellow than tennis ball highlighter. It's like neon highlighter with a dark heathered gray color, but it's not too heathered that it like contrasts too bad with the solid of the yellow. Anyway, I like this, but I have to do like a bazillion rows of stockinette with color changes every like it's too many rows. So I actually hate making this, but I'm really excited to have the outcome. But similar to the mixed yarn scrappy scarf, this is the same colors. So I'll also want to wear this in the autumn season. Also, that's giving like back to school vibes. Like that's when you wear a tie. Anyway, on to thing number 9 is I finished a blanket for my cat. Made her a blanket. Anyway, she didn't like it, but she'll definitely sleep on it because I put it in her bed and she likes to sleep there. It is Plymouth Yarn Hotcakes, and the pattern is the Ombre Hexagon Blanket by mypoppet.com.au. It's a really good hexagon pattern. It's flat, double crochets, not granny squares, and the increases are super easy. And I didn't block it because honestly, she's a cat and she won't notice if the ends are a little rumpled. But if I wash it, it will get blocked eventually because she will get so much fur on it that it needs to be washed. But I really like how the muted colors go with her like muted calico vibes. She's so perfect, baby. All right, we have got two lip hole patterns that I completed in this time period. So first up is this top. It's the poppy top. I think it's one flaw is that I should have put an elastic in here before folding it over. I would have sewed it into the beginning so it's a little more cinched, because it kind of just falls off. Because if you haven't noticed, I've been pulling it up the whole episode. Actually, I'm gonna edit those all out and then do a funny compilation at the end of me just going like, I didn't like that sound. Anyway, this is a really good pattern if you want to do one of these asymmetrical things, but you don't want to make sleeves or use a really tiny yarn weight, because this didn't use that small of a yarn. This is like one smaller than a worsted. So I really liked this. I think that it works better if you have bigger boobs to hold it up, but I don't have that. So instead I'm going to ponder an elastic or straps. I don't have the rest of the yarn, I don't think, and it wouldn't match. So I'll probably put a small elastic inside of here, but I'm not really sure how I'll get it in. Overall, I would recommend this pattern, and it was really helpful to learn the techniques that I want to know to make the asymmetry. So now I feel like I could freehand this if I wanted. I also think if I make another one of these, I would make it as a skirt and keep this open, but start in the round. So this folds over and it has elastic trapped inside, and then there's no open hole right here, and then unopen it and knit it flat for the rest and do it like this with the buttonholes. And then I would add short rows to the back, which would be super good because I love a skirt with some short rows. Anyway, next up, we have my failed Marin hat by La Pole in HM Nabavian wool that is undyed and some navy blue scrap yarn. So I've been waiting for this pattern to release, and I was a little tiniest bit off gauge. It calls for a hook size, a 4mm hook, right? And I used a 2.25, and it came out ginormous. I used like a pretty thick 4-weight yarn. So I am gonna try this again with a smaller yarn and still make the smallest size and see if I can make it uphold, because I would really like to wear this hat. However, I did flip the brim over, and it does make an extremely cute bucket hat. So considering the techniques of this, I would reverse the techniques and maybe make it into a bucket hat, because it's honestly the best fitting bucket hat I've ever seen in my life. So I will note that. So if you make this pattern, be warned that you might mess up the first one, and you might need to experiment with your yarn choices. Anyway, then I bought 2 fabrics from Joann's sale. One of them is a nighttime vibes fabric. I might make a going out set in this. It's sparkly blue, dark blue over black shimmery with like rainbow shimmers in it. And then it has like dark colored shimmers to go with it, also in this like rainbow-esque vibe. So it's super fun, iridescent vibes. I really like that. And then I bought camo jersey. Can you believe that? It is so funny. I actually love it so much. So I want to make something to wear out on the Jersey Shore, because this is just such camp material that I had to have it. I don't like this. Oh, I don't like this. Anyway, then I fringed and bleached in a different order. No, I did fringe it and then bleach it. I fringed and bleached this Abercrombie t-shirt and wore it on St. Patty's, because I didn't like the cut of the shirt, but it's too big for me to like sew into it like a more like snatched t-shirt, like a baby tee. And I honestly just didn't feel like doing that. So I just wanted to work with the boxiness. So I ended up fringing it, and I wore it, and it was super fun and swingy, and I wore it out to the club, and it was really fun. Then I bought a ball of Plymouth yarns, of their wool, and I'm gonna add this to a hat that I made for my dad out of the same yarn, because he needs like a brim's worth of extra length. So I will be doing that. I will be learning a new skill, how to open up your knitting and then add some space to it. But I won't be learning that right now. I'll be learning that in the fall, because he doesn't need his hat right now. Then, oh my God, I was at Downtown Yarns, and I bought this beautiful teal fluff. I will put the name of it on here if I can find the tags. But it was so beautiful, and I'm actually obsessed with this color of teal right now. So I'm really into this. And Gima, I don't know how you say this brand, but you know what I'm talking about. They release so much stuff in this color. I'm like actually obsessed. Like pastel Statue of Liberty, like Christian girl summer teal vibes, like the suburban walking moms who wear magenta and teal. Live for this color right now. So I thought I would make another mandali skirt. I know that the one I have already is a dress, but I would like to make a skirt that I can wear over jeans with this crazy fluff. I think it would be so fun. Alrighty, we have 3 more items on the agenda. This didn't take me as long to talk about, so because I don't have that much to talk about, I guess, even though I made so many things, but I guess I'm just saying them instead of like really talking about them. So I started the Made by Roshni Brooke is her name. I'm so sorry if it's Roshni and not Roshni, but I think that it's Roshni. Anyway, I started her off the shoulder loose knit raglan from YouTube. Here's a picture of the YouTube video. And this is a fabulous, fabulous pattern with really good math. And I'm really good at math. So I really enjoyed this. And once I started the raglan, I knew exactly what to do. And she makes it so easy And anyway, I didn't even need to follow the pattern because I already know how to do a raglan. But her math was really good, and I also just didn't know how to like make it off the shoulder. So anyway, turns out you just make a lot of holes and the arm distance is really short. Anyway, I am using Hobie Seashell, and this is the most fabulous summer wool. Nope, it's not a wool though, but summer fiber I've ever used. It is a cotton, bamboo, viscose, linen. It's three of those. It's three of those options. I will put it on the screen if you guys care. Anyway, I'm doing it in the dark green color, and I decided to do the arms once I finished the first ball of yarn and split for the sleeves. So I did that, and then I started, after I ran out of that yarn, like here, I started the first sleeve. And I've never knitted a sleeve before. I actually hate knitting in a small circumference, so that's pretty crazy. And then from there, speaking of a green yarn that I'm not doing sleeves on, I bought this random impulse buy of yarn, probably Knitty City, I believe, and it's so enjoyable. But I needed to take a break because it's 100% acrylic yarn, but I'm making a big turtleneck, high-necked, like short sleeve cap raglan vibes. Here is a picture. I have 2 balls of this yarn, so it could be a dress, which would be super fun. Anywho, with that being said, I started that so I'd have something easy to work on in Florida that's slightly engaging in case I messed up my scarf, which I did mess up my scarf. And I also worked on the cat blanket, but that's really big and not easy to work on when it's sitting in your lap in Florida. And lastly, I have started a room decor project. I have no decor of my bed because the 2 pictures I have are vintage posters of Times Square because I love Times Square and just the look and the vibes of it as like a concept. Like I don't love going there except like to go to Broadway and stuff. But like in secret, I do love going there. Like this is New York City. Like I know people don't think that. I don't care. I'm from New York and I'm the authority. So I had all this contact paper and a gift card to Target. So I used the contact paper and I put the contact paper onto these cork boards that I ordered from Target, and then I bought some some push pins to go with it. And I have been knitting and crocheting squares out of yarns that I took out of my stash to match my bedding and general room vibe. So the colors I do are white with a cool toned gray, and then I have some olive and like leaf foliage food adjacent greens, some mid neutral pinks, and like a smidge of some other colors, but not really. It's mostly gray, pink, and green. So with that being said, the yarns are gray, pink, and green. The background is white with little pink and green flowers. The only thing that doesn't match is the wood, but I don't really care. So there will be no glass falling on me. It would just be push pins. But this is where I am so far. I'm really liking this as like an easy little thing to just do, and mixing up the yarns and trying stripes and this and that. So I will continue to work on this. I have 4 of them and I have a lot of space on my wall. So I think I'll just hang them up as soon as I make them and hope that they match because they're all made out of the same yarn anyway, so they should match. Anyway, that is the last thing I have to talk about. This is a 20-minute podcast. That's super fast. So I don't know, is there anything else I want to talk about? I don't have any like future plans. I need to finish stuff, fix stuff, and finish stuff and fix stuff. I'm going to the Stitch and Pitch. I already talked about this, but I have an extra ticket. So if you're my friend in real life or a yarny friend who lives in New York, hit me up because I have 2 tickets, one for me and one to go with somebody. And I also have a friend who might be selling 2 tickets. So I could hook you up with that as well because they are going to sell out really soon. And we probably have better seats than what's available right now. And who doesn't love a beer, a hot dog, and free yarn? Me, I love those things. So I don't not like them at all. What do I have for you guys? What do I have left? I already showed you everything. I don't really do vlog, so I guess you guys are getting a short and sweet podcast, and I will see you in the next content that I come out with. Bye, everybody.